The moment you let someone's opinion decide your worth, you hand them the keys to your life, and most people never even realize when it happens. There was a man who lived his entire life looking at himself through other people's eyes, not because he wanted to, not because he was weak, but because it started so quietly that he mistook it for love. As a child, he learned early that approval felt like oxygen. When he spoke and people nodded, his chest felt warm. When they frowned, something inside him collapsed. So he adjusted. He softened his voice. He swallowed his truth. He smiled even when his jaw ached from holding it in place. Every reaction around him became a mirror, and he kept asking it one question again and again: am I enough now? Years passed, and he became very good at reading rooms. He could sense disappointment before it was spoken. He could feel rejection in silence. People praised him for being understanding, adaptable, easy to be around. They didn't see the cost. Every compliment rewrote him. Every criticism erased him. He didn't have an identity anymore. He had reflections. One day, someone laughed at his dream. Just a small laugh, casual, unimportant, but it landed like a verdict. That night, he stared at the ceiling, replaying it on a loop. He didn't sleep. He didn't fight it. He accepted it as truth. And quietly, he buried that dream without a funeral. This became the pattern. One comment could ruin his week. One cold tone could make him question his value. He gave people power they never asked for and authority they never earned. His mood depended on texts. His confidence depended on validation. His peace depended on other people behaving exactly the way he hoped they would, which they never did. And the worst part? He blamed himself. He thought, if I were stronger, this wouldn't hurt. He didn't know that even the strongest minds break when they're living in a house built by others. One night, exhausted from carrying everyone's expectations, he wandered into an old place on the edge of the city. It was quiet, empty, forgotten. Inside, there was a single mirror leaning against the wall, dusty, cracked at the corner. He stood in front of it, not to admire himself, but to argue. He stared and said, "Why are you never enough?" His voice shook. "Why do you change for everyone? Why do you disappear the moment someone disapproves?" The reflection didn't answer. It just stood there, silent, honest, unimpressed. For the first time, something strange happened. The mirror didn't judge him. It didn't correct him. It didn't demand anything. It simply showed him exactly as he was, without commentary. And that's when it hit him. Every mirror he had been using his whole life was broken. Not this one, the others. People's opinions were distorted glass. Some made him look bigger than he was. Some made him look smaller. None of them showed the truth, and yet he kept standing in front of them, asking for clarity. He realized something painful and freeing at the same time. No one ever truly had power over him. He gave it away, voluntarily, repeatedly. He handed it over every time he said, "Tell me who I am." He surrendered it every time he let someone else's mood decide his self-respect. The mirror in front of him didn't care about his past failures. It didn't replay insults. It didn't remind him of who walked away. It just reflected what existed in that moment. Breathing, standing, still here. And then the question changed. Instead of asking, "Am I enough for them?" he asked, "What happens if I stop asking?" The answer scared him, because if he stopped asking, there would be silence. And in that silence, he would have to define himself. No applause, no approval, no safety net, just responsibility. Most people never choose that. It's easier to live as a reaction than to live as a decision. It's easier to blame others for how we feel than to accept that we allowed it. Power feels lighter when it's outsourced. He walked away from that mirror different, not louder, not arrogant, quieter, grounded. The world didn't change the next day. People still judged, they still misunderstood, they still projected their fears onto him. But something inside him no longer moved every time someone spoke. When someone criticized him, it echoed, but it didn't enter. When someone praised him, it warmed him, but it didn't define him. He started noticing how unstable other people were, how their words came from their wounds, not his reality. He finally understood a brutal truth most never face. The moment you let others control how you see yourself, you become a prisoner without chains, and the guard doesn't even know they're guarding you. The mirror's secret wasn't confidence, it wasn't self-love slogans. It was this: your reflection is the only one that doesn't lie to control you. Everyone else's opinion is a transaction. They give it, and you pay with your peace. So ask yourself this, quietly, honestly: whose voice are you using when you talk to yourself? And when did you decide they deserved that power? Because the day you stop giving others control over your inner world, you don't become cold, you don't become selfish, you become free. And freedom doesn't shout, it stands still and finally recognizes itself in the mirror.